Now that you did your change, let's take a look and see how I changed it up. I took out most of this, and instead I included the first part, reporter for Minnesota Public Radio, because remember, I've got to provide some credibility. It didn't seem as though the Community Alliance Reassembles Battle COVID-19, that was not providing a whole lot of clarity. So then I said, found an example of this. So reporter for Minnesota Public Radio found an example of this happening right here in our home state. So then I've got the rest of this paragraph, I got the rest of this, so I got to figure out how to integrate that a little more effectively. And that's where I came up with this. So if you notice, what I did here is I provided that credibility. I had the introduction to this evidence. And then what I did is I identified further what needs to happen. So I provide the attribution here. The attribution identifies the community in North Minneapolis had a difficult time handling the COVID-19 pandemic. So I had to introduce the evidence a little more specifically. I can't just say, boom. Then you say, when an advertisement went out that masks were needed, community members like King Demetrius Pendleton created, quote, 60 to 70 masks. Then I grammatically combine those two. He also helped hand the masks out along with free bottles of hand sanitizer. Boom. So, I imagine that the evidence that you put together for this was only perhaps one sentence long. You fixed this part. You fixed this, you fixed that. Now, I want you to think now about how, in the future, because you're going to be asked to make more corrections, how would you fix evidence better? What did Ms. Hain do? So if you take a look, you can say, well, Ms. Hain, first of all, added credibility. Ms. Hain also added more detail to better understand what the evidence is, or how, like, what's going on in the evidence. She included information about who did the action, as opposed to just saying the action happened. I also provided extra information, especially considering if I look at the topic sentence talking about help supporting people in need, especially in the COVID-19 pandemic, not only made masks, but also handed out hand sanitizer. So, I wasn't expecting you to have all of this done, but I was expecting you to at least make modifications. In the future, as we keep going here, you're going to take a look at the next piece of evidence, and you're going to ensure that you are that you can more successfully add the evidence. So, I also just want to point out, I want to make it very clear, look at how much there is here, as opposed to right here. So some of us identified very minimal amounts of evidence. Some of us struggled with integrating that evidence effectively. So did you not provide enough attribution? Was there issues with issues with providing credibility? I want you to take a look at your piece of evidence. I want you to take a look at either one of your pieces of evidence, and I want you to articulate what was the issue, if any, with using your evidence. Did you struggle with credibility? Did you struggle with attribution? What about the identification of the proper author? Did you struggle with that? Where was your struggle when it comes to integrating evidence? Did you not have enough? So respond to your answer, or respond to that question below.